Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and The Mandalorian Season 2 released a new special look trailer ahead of its second season premiere on October 30th. And while there's still no sighting of Ahsoka Tano or Moff Gideon's LARPing gear after I did my reaction,
we got a woo.
I have since gone through this footage frame by frame, and actually there is some huge stuff hidden in here. Huge! I'm gonna break down all the Easter eggs and Easter Sul guys. Let's get started.
Razor Crest, stand down.
Okay, Mando's Razor Crest is being chased down by the New Republic's X-Wings, like the ones we saw last season, episode 6. Now in other footage, these X-Wings appear to have some red paint on the nose, some blue stripes on the wing cannon. Maybe there's a blue astromech droid there. Could this be Luke Skywalker in R2-D2? Well, now that we hear the pilot, it doesn't really sound like Mark Hamill.
Razor Crest, stand down.
But I think he will show up in this season. He did cameo as the Mos Eisley droid bartender in season 1. And I will say the voice of Gor Koresh, the Abyssian, does sound a bit more Hamill-y than Favreau-y.
This is no place for a child.
Wherever I go, he goes.
So I've heard.
Now, I don't think this X-Wing chase is necessarily from the same scene as Mando's crash landing on this ice planet, which again, I believe to be ILUM, the ice planet once mined for kyber crystals and visited by the Jedi with younglings to get the crystals for their lightsabers, which also showed up in Jedi Fallen Order, and 30 years later was terraformed into Starkiller Base by the First Order. Those walls do look a lot like the ILUM ice walls you gotta climb in Jedi Fallen Order. Let's move on.
I'm here on business. I need your help. I've been quested to bring this one back to its kind.
Okay, here Mando meets Greef Karga and Cara Dune on Navarro, but Mando's audio is probably from a different scene, because think about it, Cara and Greef were already present with Mando when the Armorer assigned him that mission. Why would he repeat it to them here? They'd be like, yeah, we know we were there. So I think the audio is actually from a scene with Mando meeting Sabine Wren or Bo-Katan Kryze or Ahsoka Tano, Mandalorian characters themselves or characters with connections to other Mandalorians, and with the Jedi to help Mando trace Baby Yoda's origin. But cool detail here, look in the Razor Crest behind Mando. There is somebody frozen in carbonite back there. So either Mando could be bringing Greef another bounty, or I think he's getting back a bounty that he returned to him before, because he probably caught this later in the trailer. There's a sighting of that blue Mythrol played by Horatio Sands in the first episode of the series. He shows up in the cockpit with Cara and Greef. He was last seen frozen in carbonite, handed off to Greef in exchange for Mon Calamari currency. Just connecting some dots here, I think one of their missions is going to involve Mando and Greef and Cara breaking into an Imperial base on Navarro that Mythrol was handed over to. Now, I assume it was Imperial forces because, remember, Greef tried to pay Mando initially in Imperial credits before offering a Calamari flan currency, and the shot of them in the trailer here could be after they broke out the Mythrol, and then maybe because he was annoying, Mando refroze him in order to transport him to his ocean home world. That could connect to the footage of the water planet we've seen, maybe Mon Cala. They could be returning this Mythrol to his home planet in order maybe to curry favor with his family in order to help Mando track down contacts with the old Rebel Alliance, people like Bo-Katan or Sabine Wren, whom Sasha Banks may be playing in hooded form appearing on these docks. And in the shots of that seaport, Mando does follow two beings, one of whom wears a backpack with this tank. We actually saw a Funko Pop figurine with Baby Yoda and a similar looking egg canister, and you do see what look like eggs floating around in that girl's tank. Perhaps there is a Mon Cala aquatic race needing their eggs back, and this Mythrol is the key, and whatever the reason Moff Gideon's Imperial unit had those eggs is the same reason he wants the child. Baby Yoda may be connected to Dr. Pershing's Camino-linked genetic engineering. Now, some believe the shots of Mando's feet are actually a different character, Boba Fett's boots, but I don't think so. You can see the tip of Mando's rifle dropping down into frame there. Really, Boba Fett is another character we have yet to see in any trailer footage. We do know that Timothy Olyphant is going to be playing a character this season, and there was a report by Slash Film that he was seen wearing Boba Fett's armor on set, but we also got another report that Tamara Morrison is going to return as Boba Fett, so I think it's more likely that Olyphant is going to be playing Cobb Vanth, a character from Chuck Wendig's Aftermath series. Cobb was the self-appointed sheriff of Freetown on Tatooine who got his hands on the acid-stained armor of Boba Fett scavenged by Jawas in the Dune Sea in the wreckage of Jabba's barge. But we'll just have to see how Boba Fett and or Cobb Vanth connect to that mystery man we saw at the end of episode 5. But before we move on, these Tatooine dunes do include this skeleton. Those are the curved horns of a bantha. It is similar to the famous crate dragon skeleton in the Dune Sea in A New Hope, but other big things die here too. Well, hey, before I continue, thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Skillshare is an online learning community that offers membership with meaning. With so much to explore, real projects to create, and the support of fellow creatives, Skillshare empowers you to accomplish real growth. Skillshare offers classes designed for real life. You can learn and grow with short classes that fit any schedule. If you think about it these days, spontaneous acts of creativity may help break up the routine of a day spent indoors. And learning is a great way to fend off boredom. That's what we believe here at New Rockstars. We're all about learning something new every day. Skillshare has classes and topics New Rockstars fans will enjoy, like animation, film, video, music production, the kind of fun, nerdy things that make watching movies and trailers all the more rewarding. A class I want to check out is science fiction and fantasy, creating unique and powerful worlds, taught by Lincoln Michelle, a creative writing professor at Columbia, and Sarah Lawrence. The class focuses on how to create new and unique worlds while having those worlds reflect back on us and making us see our reality differently. Skillshare is curated specifically for learning. There are no ads, and they are always launching new premium classes so that you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. And it's less than $10 a month with an annual subscription. And the first 1,000 of my subscribers to click that link in the description will get a free trial of premium membership so that you can explore your creativity with Skillshare. All right, let's move on.
If I can locate other Mandalorians, they can guide me.
This is no place for a child.
Wherever I go, he goes.
Okay, crashed on the ice planet, the Razor Crest appears to be oozing this teal-colored fluid. Maybe it's fuel, or maybe it's blood of something else smeared on the ship, and that Mando could be looking up at it, because also notice how in the shot tilting down on the ship in the cave, that snow is going up, the billowing smoke is condensing in instead of dispersing. Us tenant heads know this shot is reversed, and I'm guessing it's because the normal shot is gonna be a reveal of some monster lurking overhead, because then notice in the other shot there is the carcass of an ice spider the size of a dog curled up on the wing of the Razor Crest. Ugh. But even more terrifying, lean back from your screen here. This ship is covered in the segmented legs of a giant ice spider, mama spider. I hate this. And you know Mando does too, because now he's got to cut through the giant spider parts to free his ship. How he brought this thing down? I don't know, but he does have a little crazy baby wizard who can take down Mudhorns. So Mando's voice over here mentions locating other Mandalorians to guide him. And since he already knows other Mandalorians from Navarro, I'm assuming he's referring to Mandalorians he doesn't yet know. Mandalorians have links to Jedi, characters like Bo-Katan, Sabine Wren. If Sasha Banks is playing Sabine, it's worth pointing out that she is rumored to be credited for all 8 episodes this season. So yeah, that plays out. Then there are the shots we've seen before of Mando meeting Gor Koresh in the Tatooine Gamorrean fighting match. This time we actually see Mando's whistling birds ignite and take out these dudes, though if you look closely, one of those birds seems to go directly right back into Mando's face. Ouch! Again, I do think some of these gangsters are part of the old criminal gang of Jabba the Hutt. One of the other shots of Cara Dune does show her in a setting that looks like the arched ceilings of Jabba's palace. Let's move on. Okay, there are more shots of their mission against this Imperial base. It is set up near a lava river, and there's some debate over what planet this is. I really do think it is just Navarro. That planet does have flowing lava on the surface. It could be Sullust, it could be Mustafar, but why? We already know there is an Imperial presence on Navarro, a lava planet in this series that could just go to where they already are. It does look like after freeing the Mythrol from prisoner holding, Greef and Kara have hijacked an Imperial troop transport that's just like the one we saw stormtroopers arrive on in episode 7 of last season, though looks like the troop holding area has been replaced with gun mounts and this fluid tank. Maybe fuel, maybe blood, but I'm thinking containing those eggs that I mentioned before. Okay, on to the final clip.
Here we go.
All right, we see some Outland TIE fighters screaming, while behind them some lava is smoldering, exploding up. Maybe based on some other footage, that Imperial base may get consumed by geysering lava. Maybe some kind of deal to take out this base, rid the Imperial presence from Navarro to allow Greef Karga, who's now risen up as the leader of that town, to not have to deal with stormtroopers breathing down his neck. And then our last shot, Mando jetpacks over the cliff's edge to assist in whatever this extraction is. Amazing how that cape avoids catching fire.
No kicks!
But I do love how the composer Ludwig Göransson's Mando flute theme mixes into the intense score here.
Here we go.
reflecting the character of Mando. Throughout the chaos of his surroundings, Mando stays cool, true to himself, unrattled. Ow, I just hit my hand on the thing. We're gonna be covering Mandalorian episodes with 2 videos per week at least. Our Wookiee Leaks after show with me and Tommy giving our first thoughts, and then my in-depth breakdown of all the Easter eggs, visual details that you missed. Subscribe to Wookiee Leaks wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to us here on New Rockstars on YouTube, hit that notification bell. Follow me on Instagram at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars. Thank you for watching. I have spoken. Boom, 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 boom.